Hello, everybody. We want to welcome you to Love and Arm Church Waukegan. This is Pastor Bersham here tonight. We're in the book of Ruth now. Hey, we done retired another book, the book of Judges. We have went through as a church family, and we all is on one accord as up until now with the Bible. For those of you who don't understand, our Bible study is literally a study of the Bible. Before we study the Bible, we first have to understand what the Bible said. So our study of the Bible started in the book of Genesis, and we're working our way down through the end of the Bible, even to Revelation. We, we reside now in the book of Ruth 1 and 2. Naomi said unto her two daughters-in-law, Go and return unto her mother house. And this is each into her mother's house. And this is the um, focus on this book here tonight. And we're going to see what this book is talking about as we go through. Why is Ruth in the Bible? Because she's significant in the bloodline of Jesus. And we'll see how this goes. Ruth 1, 22 verse. Woohoo! I love it when it's 22, 15 to 14. All right, here it go like this. And now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled, and there was a famine in the land. And a certain man from Bethlehem, Judea, sojourned in the country of Moab, him and his wife, and his two sons. And the name of the man was, I forget his name. What's his name? Elimelech. 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 I forget it every time. All right, let's go back and read it. Thank you for that, Pastor Lucy, for saving me tonight. All right, the man's name was Elimelech, and the name of his wife, Naomi, which is the um, person mentioned in the top of the story. And the name of his two sons was whatever and whatever, because I can't pronounce them. The Ephraimites of Bethlehem, Judea. And they came unto the country of Moab and continued there. And when Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and all of a sudden they moved, and the man died. Now here's this old lady. She's in tragedy. So let's focus on this here because so many times when we're trying to walk into something that God has, we're going to be faced with a certain type of tragedy. Let's see how she deal with it. And she was left, and her two sons. As of right now, she's not pretty bad because back then, women's that was left alone, it was more of a man-dominated world. Women's really weren't allowed to work, but she had two sons. So because she had two sons, she would be all right. They would help take care of their mom and go from there. And they took them wife of the women of Moab, mobile, however you said, those are the sons of Lot. And the name of one was Oprah, and the name of the other was Ruth. And they dwelled about 10 years. And so from Elimelech when he died to 10 years, they was in the land of Moab, or part of the Moabites. So um, remember, Jesus in the early part bound by in the book was it in the book of Judges. You remember God visited them because there was a wicked king there. So it looked like this story could have took place back way in those times because I don't think there's a Ruth is any in significant order of it. But somewhere in between the stories, her story is going to pop out just because of Boaz. Like I said, you're going to see Boaz is going to be on that birth line of Jesus, how it goes. And the two sons died. Also, uh, uh, the two sons died, also both of them. And the woman was left with her two sons and her two, uh, and the woman was left of her two sons and her husband. In other words, every man in her life is dead. So here's the significance. In the old days, when that happened, there was a certain type of crisis that was on the woman. So, so now she lost everything, all her financial, because the man was the one who worked and brought home the work. That's just how it was back then. And so just bear with me because you can understand that this woman here, now in her mind, she got nothing. Okay. Then she rose up with her daughter-laws daughter-in-laws, and they that she may return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab about that the Lord had visited the peoples, giving her people and giving them bread. In other words, Jesus somehow showed up. Okay, so now Jesus is somewhere giving people's bread. I don't understand how he's doing it, but we understand that that word Lord is capitalized. When it's capitalized, it's talking about Jesus. So you understand that Jesus was operating in this world back there some way, somehow, and he was feeding people. Eh, Now, was it a physical? Probably not. Probably the church or something that was going on. But just so you see it in the book of Ruth, it gave homage that Jesus was there doing things back then. Let's go. Therefore, she went forth out of the place where she was, and her two daughters in law with her. And they went on their way and returned into the land of Judah. They back in Judah. And Naomi said unto her two daughters in law, Go, return each to her mother's house. And the Lord, which is Jesus, deal kindly with you, as he have dealt with the dead and with me. In other words, she is giving them leave because she don't have anything to offer them. Okay? The Lord grant you that ye may find rest. Okay? Why? Because they destitute now. Each of you in your house of your what? Uh, each of you in the house of your husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept because they loved her. She was a really good woman. And they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will ye go with me? I have nothing to give you. Are there yet any more sons in my womb? That in Israel, there was a thing that happened. At least if one of the sons died, he could marry her wife and all this other kind of stuff. So what she's saying, I have nothing else to give you, and that they may be your what husband? Turn again, my daughters, and go away, for I am too old to have a husband. I can't. This lady had no plan to remarry, and if I should say I have hope, if I should have an husband also tonight, I should also bear sons. Will try to tarry for me until will ye tarry with me until they were grown? In other words, if I do get married, if I do bear a son, or you're gonna stay with me till they get old enough for you to marry them. But by that time they'll be old people too. Will ye stay for them from having her? Will you stay with them from having husband? Nay, my daughters, for it give giveth me much to your sake that the hands of the Lord is gone out against me. In other words, now she's in crisis, and I find this to be very ironic. Anytime we find ourselves in a situation, the first thing we do is do what? We go blaming God. Oh, the Lord did this. Oh, the Lord want me to fall. Okay, she's feeling sorry for herself. And they lifted up their voice and weep again. And Oprah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth cleaved unto her. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her peoples and unto her gods. Look at that. Now look, that God is capitalized. So she went back into a false religion. Okay. Now Ruth come from that. Okay. And return thee after thou sister-in-law. In other words, Ruth told her to go. All right. This is what happened here. Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, and to return from falling after thee, and withdraw thou withdraw, or rather thou goest. I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge, and the people shall be my what people, and thou God, look here, shall be my God. Now, here's the part of the story. The other daughter-in-law went back to what familiar for her. What mobile, like I said, because God had visited them before, they was not serving God. They were serving Abimelech and all this other kind of stuff. Say Balaam and all this other mess that they had going on over there. Remember, we learned this in the other book. But Ruth said, I'm going to follow after you. And here's the thing. Your God be my God. And that's that. Okay. Well, thou diest, will I die? And there will I be what buried. In other words, where you die, I'm gonna die. And where you're gonna be buried, that's where I'm gonna be buried. And the Lord do so unto what me. And much also. If I ought but die, die, but death, I'm sorry, part thee and me. In other words, she have made up her mind. She's seeing this woman in destitute. She know this woman don't have nothing, but I'm gonna stay with you. I'm gonna do what is good, even in the midst of this crisis. Okay. 18. And when she saw that she was steadfast minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. In other words, she didn't mess with her no more. And so they too, Ruth and her, went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them. And they said, This is Naomi. And she said unto them, Call me not Naomi. My name is Mar, if I'm saying it right. For the Almighty have dealt very bitterly with me. In other words, now she is landed on thick. Now, here God got the people to receive her, and boy, she is in there whining and crying. Oh Lord, and did this. Lord, just because we in hard time, don't mean God have did it. The enemy have did it. You know, she just landed on thick. I went out full, and the Lord brought me home again empty. Look at her. She is landing on thick. Why call ye me Naomi? Saying that the Lord hath testified against me. Oh my God, she is worse than Job here. And the Almighty have afflicted me. So Naomi returned, and Ruth with the Moabite, her the daughter-in-law with her, and they returned out of the country of Moab, and they came into Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. Okay, that is two, one, moving into two. Now, sum up this here. The woman lost her father, her husband, her two sons, and all she have is her daughter-in-law. She have no way to fend for herself. And so usually when certain things happen like that, it was customary that the person returned back to their kinrads or to their father's house so that someone or some man can take care of them. Now, thank God that women don't have to do that today to depend on some man or somebody to take care of them, especially when they're not treated right. And I certainly thank God that the world is a little bit better so that, we can have, women today can have a quality of life. But in her day, this lady really didn't have anything. This lady literally lost everything. And this is why she was whining and crying, saying the Lord took it from me. But not one time in that story have I see Naomi go somewhere and pray and ask God to bless her family, to heal her husband, none of that. She just accept things how they were, like most of us do in life, and went on. So let's get into two. So now they go back, going back to the tribe of Judah at the barley harvest. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband, a mighty man of wealth. See, so now she got to go back because somebody got to take her. And the family of Elimelech, if I'm saying it right, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said unto Naomi, Let me go now, let me now go, I'm sorry, to the field and glean ears of corn after him in the whole sight that I shall find grace. In other words, so now here go Ruth. Okay. Now, why interesting thing that we're saying that I showed you guys this before, the gleaming of the corn. Remember, Israel was not allowed when the time of harvest to pick their fields clean. Why? Because people such as Naomi now and people such as Ruth that need to eat, they can actually go and glean the corn. The people who work for them, they can actually have their own source of food. So God would not allow them to have it. So this is where the gleaming come in from. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. And she went and came and in gleaming in the field after the reapers. Okay. So after they got done doing what they do, here she go. And she heaped, and her heap was to light one part of the field belonging to Boaz. who was the comrades of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, Lord bless thee. So now you see that Boaz was had some type of love of God. Listen how he greet his people. You know what I mean? May God be with you. You see what I'm saying? And you can tell the respect that they had for him. Okay. Then said Boaz unto the servant that was set over the reapers, Who is this dancer? Whose dancer is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is a Moabite dancer that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray thee, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves here. And so she came and had continued even from the morning until now. And she tarried a little in the house. So now here come Ruth introducing herself to Mr. Boaz here. And said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field. Rather, go from hence, but abide here first by my maidens. Okay, let thy eyes be upon the field that thou do reap, and go thou after them. In other words, he's telling them when the women go out in the field, my maidens go with him. Okay. I have not changed the young men that have not. I have okay. If I'm going okay, let me go back to that. Let thy eyes be on the field that the reapers do go, and go thou after them. I have not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee. In other words, you fine. I got you protected. And uh, when thou art artisted, go unto the vessel and drink of that which the young men have what drawn. And she fell on her face and bowed herself unto the ground and said unto him, Why have thou found grace in thy eyes, that thou should take knowledge of me, seeing that I am a stranger? And Boaz answered and said unto her, If thou wholly, if it have fully been shown to me that uh, thou have gone unto thy mother-in-laws since the death of thy husband, and how thou have left thy father and thy mother, and in the land of thy native, natural, was that nativity or that naturality, whatever he's saying, and are came unto the peoples which thou knowest not henceforth, and the Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord thou God of Israel. Under the uh, whole wing thou art come to truth. Then he said, Let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord. I'm sorry. Then she said, Let me find favor in my sight, my Lord, for for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thy handmaiden. Though I brought not, though I be not like unto one of thy handmaids. And Boaz said unto her, At mealtime, come thou hither, and eat of my bread, and dip thy morsel in in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and she reached her parched corn. She reached for parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed and left. And when she rose up early to glean, Boaz commanded his young man, saying, Let her glean even uh, among the sheaf and reproaches her and what not. In other words, Boaz said, let her do what she's going to do. All right, 8:16. And let fall also some of the handful of the purpose of for her. Let fall also some of the handful of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. So she gleaned in the field until evening, and beat out that and beat out that she had what gleaned, and it was about a ephod of barley. When he said beat out, meaning the corn or whatever they is, she turned it to flour. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her, excuse me, that she had reserved she was after she was uh whatever that is. And her mother-in-law said unto her, where hast thou gleaned today? And where worth thou? Blessed be that I did take knowledge of thee. And she showed her mother-in-law what mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, the man named whom I wrought today is Boaz. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, blessed be he of the Lord, that who have not left off his kin kindness, who have not left his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, the man is nearest of kin unto us, one of our next of kin. And Ruth the Moabite said, he said unto me also, thou shalt keep by the young man, first by my young men, until they have in all of the harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth, her daughter-in-law, it is good, my daughter, that thou go out with the maidens, that thou meet thee not in the meet not in any other field. So she kept fast by the maiden of Boaz to glean unto the end of the barley harvest, and wheat, and end of the wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. And that is 1 and 2. I survived again. In other words, now you've seen the story where uh, Naomi lost everything. And as a woman, she's connected from money, she connected from status. So she do what the person could do. She goes back to her kindred house. Um, no doubt that Naomi, the guy that Naomi married to, um, and after she had took him away, so she go back. Now, after all that wine and crying that Naomi is doing, it seems like to me that God had her blessed and had her set up. Because now Boaz is totally being kind to uh, the woman. And I think, way Boaz is acting, he knew that she was part of his lot. So anyway, in other words, what I'm trying to say is this. It really doesn't matter where you're at in life. If God is really for you, if God really have pulled certain things out of your life to bring you back into certain things, then you understand that no matter what tragedy that you're in, God is there with you. And so even though she was saying, oh, the Lord did this, and the Lord made me poor, and I don't have this, and I don't have that, God is going to establish her and bless her through Ruth. So what would have happened if Ruth had not went back to her mother's house and just left the old lady and went out to herself? But no, the kindness of her heart and the goodness of her heart led her to, even though she was in just as bad a situation, she was younger, she could work, she went and she helped this lady. And you know what Ruth is? Ruth also is going to be named in the genealogy of Jesus. She's going to get a significant role in bringing the Lord on this earth, because these are the people that God was working through to keep himself or to keep his way or keep that bloodline so that he can be born. And there she is at the end of the Bible harvest, in the worst time of their life. They are being blessed by one of the wealthiest men of that time. That is Ruth 1 and 2. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight as we get ready to go into live discussion. If you have been with this church anytime, you know we don't record live discussion. Therefore, if you want to be a part of understanding of the things that we discuss in the scripture, you have to be in church in person or online so that you can participate in this great opportunity. If you like what you hear, you have to go to LebanonChurchWaukegan.org. Again, that's LebanonChurchWaukegan.org. Please go to our live broadcast tab. Up on the live broadcast tab, you will find our Sabbath teachers, our Sabbath service, so you get tons of information. Right now, we're in the series of understanding salvation. Before that, we was in the series of understanding your mind, how your mind works, so you can understand how to live a victorious life. But if you're interested in the Bible study portion of this website, please, on the live broadcast tab, a drop-down menu would appear. Select that drop-down menu, collect it, become part of our Bible study community. You get a video library of what we're doing in the Bible, and also you give a link to go live, whether it's Sabbath or whatever. You will have that link to access us whenever we're doing live uh, teachings, and you also have the opportunity to participate in live discussion. May God bless you and forever keep you in your care. As we get ready to go live, once again, it is LebanonChurchWaukegan.org. Live broadcast tab for Sabbath service. Drop down menu appears. Select Bible study for Bible study community. Become a part. May God bless you again. Forever keep you in His care as we get ready to go live.